No substitute for hard work and determination when it comes to building your wealth. And Matthew Rockman and Andrew Basset are certainly no exception. They, along with Paul Basset, are the founders of seek.com.au. From very humble beginnings, they've steadily built Australia's largest and most successful online jobs company, and they've attracted some pretty serious backers along the way. Let's find out how they did it. Okay, Matthew and Andrew, welcome to Wealth Creator today.
Thanks, Reuben.
Well, Matthew, firstly, can you tell me a bit about where the business is at today?
I think the business is doing very, very well. In terms of employees, we're up just over 200 employees. We've got about 80,000 or slightly ahead of 80,000 jobs on the site at any one point in time, so that's a very large number. And our revenue is slightly north of, or targeted to be slightly north of 60 million, so that's also pretty healthy revenues. The company's in its, I'll see if I can remember this, is in its 7th year, or we started in 1997 and delivered the site live in 1998. Whatever that adds up to, I can't quite remember. And you know, we've come a long way in that time, and the metrics I just mentioned to you are obviously far and away ahead of when we started the business, when you had almost no revenue, no advertisers.
So Andrew, how did the business actually get started? Where did you all meet?
It actually started, my brother Paul, our third partner, was looking for a house and just found the process fairly frustrating in terms of how it worked in print. Came to me the next day, and soon after we came to Matt. And there were probably two key beliefs that got us into the business. The first was that the employment classifieds market would move online. We pretty quickly switched from property to employment. First belief was employment classifieds would move online. And there was just a better way of doing things, and that somebody would create the marketplace online that previously existed in print. The second belief was that we could be the winning players, that we could take on the newspapers, and because we were able to take a view which was, let's use the technology and actually make things better for people looking for jobs, make things better for advertisers, and just create a more efficient marketplace, rather than having a mindset which is this internet thing is going to spoil our nice monopoly. We were able to really take advantage of the technology.
So did you have any background in IT or recruitment before you started Seek?
We actually had a pretty broad range of inexperience in the relevant areas. I was barely an internet user when we started the business plan, and Paul and Matt, a little bit of internet exposure, but no experience in recruitment, no experience in IT, or any of the relevant areas you would have expected. And none of us had started a business before. We did have backgrounds, though, that were quite complementary in terms of Matt, a very strong sales and marketing background, and myself, management consulting, and Paul, a legal background, that sort of came together quite well.
So there's 3 founders to the business. How did you know at the start that they were the right people to get into business with?
One was my brother, and it was his idea, so you couldn't really exclude him. And Paul knew Matt well, and it's kind of funny that it just sort of fit in terms of, it fit quite well. We knew each other and trusted each other. And there was a degree of complementariness in terms of our skills and experiences and so on. It just felt right from the start. And it's worked out really well. We've got our different areas and high degree of respect for each other in the areas that we cover. So it's just worked well.
We're pretty busy. I mean, the challenge was pretty daunting to the extent that didn't really have time to focus inward. We needed to focus outward and drive the business forward, so it keeps you pretty occupied.
And you must have experienced some hurdles in the early days. Can you tell us a bit about some of those?
Yeah, there are a range of different hurdles. I mean, there was a big technology risk for the business. Could we deliver a site? Would it work? At a most fundamental level, I guess there was a model risk. Could we get advertisers, job advertisers that is, to sign up and post their ads on the site? And over time, could we charge for those? And on the other side, I guess, could we get job seekers to utilise the site, interact with those job advertisements and create the marketplace? So that's sort of a fundamental business risk. That was a little bit of an unknown. We knew it happened in print, but I guess, for online there was more of a question mark. So Andrew and I, sort of worked on those separate areas. I focused on the job advertisers. Andrew focused on getting distribution for candidates to interact with those advertisers, and I guess that was probably one of the largest risks. This was a business for many years that I guess was burning or losing money, so there was the capital raising risks, competitor risks, and a range of others, but they're probably the major ones.
So tell us a bit about how the business model works and how it differentiates from, say, newspapers.
In some ways it's quite similar. So we are creating a marketplace. We're creating a central repository of job ads. So for an advertiser, you place your ads on the site, you pay us a media fee. For a job seeker, you come and look for jobs on the site and apply for jobs on the site. So at that level, it's similar. The fortunate thing for us is online's a lot better than print for doing this. There's a bunch of factors. There's all sorts of convenience advantages. There's the fact there's many more ads online now than in print. And for the advertisers, there's many more job seekers online than there are in print. We're able to sort of take the technology and say, how do we make life better for job seekers? How do we make life better for advertisers? That's what really everyone here comes to work doing every single day. Rather than thinking we've got this fantastic print business, how do we deal with the migration from print to internet? We're just saying, how do we improve service to advertisers? How do we improve service to job seekers? And that's a big part of it. Probably the second factor that I should have mentioned first, is probably the most important, is just the quality of the people we have around here. We have a very, very committed, very passionate, very talented team that really believes in what we're doing, feels a great sense of ownership for what we're doing. And so I think in every level of the business, whether it's sales or whether it's marketing, whether it's business development or whether it's admin or finance or so on, I think we out-execute our competition across those dimensions because we do have a talented and committed workforce.
And on a final note, what tips or advice could you give to those who are starting out?
There's probably a range of things. I mean, I think to operate in a great market or a great space where the fundamentals are going with you rather than against you, and try and add value in that space is key. Have a clear strategy, articulate it, write it down, share it with whoever your trusted colleagues or mentors are, and make sure it makes sense. Be very clear on where you want to take things. And lastly, I mean, it's an age-old adage, but just make sure the people that you bring into your organisation are absolutely, the best, and you don't compromise. So have a very high, sort of recruitment hurdle in terms of the quality you try and bring into your organisation. All of those things line up, you probably should do well.
Okay, Matthew and Andrew, thanks for joining us on Wealth Creator.
Thanks, Reuben.
Thank you.